Alright, listen up because we're about to talk about Twilight, the movie that made vampires sparkle and turned the most boring love triangle into an international sensation. This movie was so overhyped you could have sworn it was the cure for the common cold. But no, it's just Bella Swan awkwardly staring at Edward Cullen's chiseled abs while ignoring the fact that her entire life is a walking disaster. Let's be real. I know you're secretly fascinated by how this train wreck of a love story even became mainstream. But hey, let's dive in. The Bella and Edward Show. The world's most unconvincing love story. So here's the deal. Bella Swan, the most unenthusiastic girl on the planet, moves to a small, rainy town in Washington. And guess what? She meets Edward Cullen, the guy who sparkles in the sunlight like a teenage vampire version of a glittery disco ball. Like, how does anyone even take him seriously? Vampires are supposed to be cool, not walking around looking like they just came out of a bedazzling factory. But for some reason, Bella falls head over heels for Edward, despite the fact that he's literally glowing in broad daylight like he's part of some cheap high school play. Can we talk about how Bella doesn't even question the fact that this guy is so pale he looks like a human popsicle? Can you imagine dating someone who looks like they just stepped out of a morgue? But wait, Edward's not just pale, he's also a vampire. And guess what? He doesn't bite her, at least not right away, which makes us all wonder if he's got some serious self-control issues. Like, bro, you've been around for centuries, yet somehow you still can't figure out how to not bite the girl you're obsessed with? It's basically the worst vampire skills ever. Jacob, the guy who wants to get into Bella's heart but just ends up hiding in his own fur? Okay, let's talk about Jacob Black. He's supposed to be the cool guy who at first is all buddy-buddy with Bella. But then, oh wait, he's a werewolf. Yeah, because nothing screams fun date night like a guy who can randomly turn into a giant dog at any given moment. Can you believe it? Imagine trying to Netflix and chill, and your date just morphs into a giant furry beast in front of you. That's the ultimate mood killer. Jacob's obsessed with Bella, and while it's cute at first, we quickly realize that his whole "I'm just a werewolf who's better for you than that sparkly creep" thing gets a little old. Like, bro, we get it, you want Bella's heart, but maybe start by trying to fix your hair first instead of looking like you've been caught in the rain for 3 days straight. The Volturi, the most overdramatic vampire coven ever. Then we get the Volturi, this elite vampire coven that's supposed to be the most powerful group in the vampire world. But honestly, if they weren't so focused on looking like they walked out of a gothic fashion magazine, maybe they'd be a little bit more scary. Instead, they spend most of their time making vague threats and talking in cryptic sentences that sound more like bad poetry than a real danger. Seriously, if I were a vampire in the Volturi, I'd be like, can we wrap this up? We get it, you're powerful, but your mood lighting is getting a little pretentious. Also, Arrow the leader? What kind of name is that? It's like he was trying to sound scary but ended up sounding like a guy who'd give love advice at a bad poetry slam. Can we talk about the Twilight vampire logic? Alright, now let's get to the vampire mechanics. What is it with the sparkling thing? I'm not buying it. Vampires are supposed to be dangerous, sleek, and mysterious, like a shadow in the night. But no, these vampires sparkle. Sparkle. If that's what immortality gets you, I'd rather age gracefully and die in peace. At least I won't blind people every time I step outside. And don't even get me started on how these vampires seem to spend more time brooding than doing anything remotely vampire-like. They're just hanging out in a treehouse in the woods, looking like they're about to perform a bad 90s boy band song. Like, guys, you're immortal, but you choose to spend your time acting like teenagers with emotional problems instead of being actual vampire kings? Such a missed opportunity. The secret word time. Sparkle. Can we talk about the most ridiculous part of Twilight? Sparkle. Every vampire in this series literally glows like they're part of a disco ball. If you ever wanted to see a bunch of undead creatures act like they're on the cover of a teen magazine, this is the show for you. I mean, come on, we've got vampires out here flexing like they're ready for their next Instagram photo shoot. The secret word time. Wolf. And wolf, no, not the kind you're thinking. I'm talking about Jacob, the guy who wants to be your best friend, but turns into a giant dog at the most inconvenient times. If you thought your date was a little off, just wait until he turns into a wolf and tries to convince you it's cool because it's nature. Sure, bro, sure. Just don't bite my leg off while we're chatting. The secret word time. Love. Love. as in the thing that keeps Bella so obsessed with two completely unsuitable guys. It's like watching someone try to choose between a sparkling vampire who can't even keep it together and a werewolf who transforms into a dog when things get tough. Maybe the real secret word is confusion. So, if you've managed to survive the sparkles, the awkward teen angst, and the cliché love triangle, congratulations. You've officially seen the masterpiece that is Twilight. But if you haven't, can you believe this? It's a vampire saga where everyone seems to be just way too serious about a relationship that no one should want to be in. It's a disaster, but somehow people can't stop watching it. Trust me, if you love drama, angst, and ridiculous immortals with questionable decisions, this movie's got your name written all over it.